Atlantis Alive, focusing on tracking education.
Atlantis Alive. We are so honored to have a very special guest on our show. She is recognized internationally for gender and human rights activist. She's a multi-award winner, public speaker, facilitator, mediator, and the list goes on and on and on. Welcome, Melene Rossouw.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for the opportunity today to be with you and to be able to hopefully inspire a young soul somewhere regarding my story.
Well, I know you are going to, and that's why we chose you for this show.
Thank you.
Well, Melene, let's go back to your childhood days. You know, as a young girl, what was Melene like in her childhood years?
You know, I smile because I had although my upbringing was very modest,
yes,
I was an extremely happy child. My mom often said that I was very active, and I was. I was involved in sports and debates, and I was quite good in academics, and I participated in the choir. You know, though I can't sing, I actually don't know why
We're going to do a song later on, the two of us.
It was, exactly, I was horrible, but I believe that I could sing as well. But it was because of the support structure that I had at a young age, not only by my mom, because my mom is a single parent,
yes,
but also the teachers, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just stopping there quickly about the single parents. Single parents out there, don't give up. I've also raised my son by myself, and if you look at how they turned out to be, so don't give up, don't be despair, don't have, you know, there's hope for you, because if you look at Melene, and I look at how my son has been, yeah, so yes, you can do it.
Absolutely. I mean, my mom has just been an incredible support system. She believed in me and my dreams, I think, more than what I did.
That's what most of the parents are doing.
Absolutely. And I think that is also the recipe for success ultimately, because if you have a strong parent who believes in your dreams and supports you in everything that you do, and literally she supported me in everything that I did. On primary school, I think the main highlight for me was the fact that I participated in sports. And I genuinely always tell the story because that is where my life literally changed at the age of 8. So, you know,
right.
I was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s, and it was the transition period of South Africa in 1994.
Yes, yes.
And that was the first year where coloured and black were allowed to actually participate in the national championships, like national athletics.
So did you make any of
Yes, yes, I actually did, and I
that.
won gold. And I think that was significant because I went to Pretoria in 1994, and I remember I was 8 years old, and I participated. That was the first year that I sort of gained my Western Province colours, and I went to compete at national level. And I went barefooted. I didn't have all these fancy shoes that some of these guys had, and I went and I won.
You're kidding?
I won. I smashed that race to smithereens, absolutely. And I mean, obviously after that it was year on year. But sport taught me discipline. It taught me about the ethic of hard work at such a young age. And obviously when I won in my sports, I also wanted to do good in my academics, and I wanted to do good, you know, when I was in the choir, although I still think I don't deserve to be there. But in every activity that I participated in, I wanted to do extremely well because of that.
Because you wanted to. It's because you had the desire to, you know, and then you had a mom like your mom
Absolutely.
who pushed you.
Yes.
Now, during your high school years, what were you dreaming of becoming? I know you are all this list that we're still going to go through. What was your dream like? What were you going to be like?
Wow, I love that question. A lot of people won't believe it because obviously later on in life, and we'll talk about it, I qualified as a lawyer, which is totally bizarre because it wasn't even on my radar. So I have these two very sort of extreme personalities.
Yeah.
There's this very eccentric person, free-spirited individual. I love arts and music and traveling and all those sort of light-hearted good things. And then there was this very serious side. This very disciplined, very black and white, very professional, and I wanted to become two things. The one was, and this was actually my first choice,
yes,
I wanted to live a nomadic lifestyle. I wanted to
nomadic
travel
as
the
in
world.
like just traveling and just be free?
Being free.
Yes.
You know, you travel to Mozambique and you stay there for a month or two.
And move on.
And you pack up.
Yes.
And you move to a next country or next place and you meet new people. And I wanted to write books about people. And it's so bizarre because looking back at my life now, my life is about people.
Yes.
Even that time, I was very fascinated with human beings and
yes,
how they act and, you know, gaining experience about what they go through and I want to document my experiences and interactions with people.
Wow.
So that was the one part.
Yes.
The other extreme was being a diplomat. I wanted to be an ambassador for the country. I genuinely I saw myself
Did you not watch TV and you saw that and you're like, okay, I want to be like that?
I want to be like that, yes. And I think because I've always had a reasonably, I could speak very well, I could write very well, I could present myself very well.
I can see that.
People thought that, no, this is a lawyer. I'm like, no, I think you guys are getting it wrong here. It's actually not. Because I could see myself, because of my love for my country and for people, I saw that sort of diplomatic side of me sort of emerging. So it was always these two specific things that I wanted to do, yeah.
Well, you've achieved such a lot. And let's go to 2003 and 2006. That's the year that you've done so much. And tell us about that.
That was the year that I went to the university, actually. And I mean, by force. Because law was literally, I think, the third thing that I wanted to study. But it was the thing that I was accepted for, you know, so that was insane. So I pursued my LLB degree at the University of the Western Cape in 2003 and completed that first degree in 2006. But that period was also, again, another sort of turning point for me. Yes. Because of my love for politics, because I do love politics. I understand the game of politics very well. And I got involved in student activism and student politics in my first year of university. So I joined a student political party. I was this just activist on university. And I think most people that would remember me back then would always connect me with that particular political party and my work as a student activist.
Yes.
And I enjoyed it. I mean, I think it was in 2004, or just 2003, 2004, when I was elected.
I was just going to say.
Into the SRC.
Must have been, I was just going to say,
Yes.
what about you being like elected for person who run the SRC?
Yes, no, I wasn't, but I was sort of the Deputy Secretary General. I was elected at that. And for me, it was a shock because, first of all, I didn't have any history within this particular party.
Yes.
I just came in fresh. I'm a woman.
Freshman.
And just, I said yes. When they approached me, like, are you interested? I said yes. So it was a balance of studying law.
Yes.
And engaging very intelligent, brilliant young minds about law and the importance of law and law as a tool for development and transformation. And then on the other side,
you studied
politics.
your master's law, and
Yes,
that
I
was
did.
at UWC.
Yes, but it was also connected to politics.
Okay.
And there was a political element to that because, and that is what I love about my master's degree, because it wasn't necessarily a law in its purest sense. Yes. It was law connected with politics or the work of government. And I did my master's, I think, when I started in 2007. In fact, I just completed my LLB degree, and I went to a law firm because I was sort of presented with this opportunity to do my articles at this particular law firm. Yes. And I immediately started my master's. My mom thought I was insane because I had to write board exams.
Oh my word.
And now I'm sitting with a master's, and it was really tough, but I passed. It was a structured master's, luckily. There was modules, and there was also the thesis part. The thesis I, however, wrote 2 or 3 years later.
Okay.
But the module aspect I completed when I did my articles.
So how did you do all this, being this young person and all this information, you know? How did you cope with that?
I think it was a desire for me to want to improve myself and do better and grow as quickly as I could.
Oh my
to gain as much knowledge and not sort of wait. Because people like these, no, I'm taking a vacation
Leap
year or
year.
leap year. Oh my gosh, like I don't understand that. Because we don't.
Leap year, you're missing out on a year of doing something really valuable for yourself.
Absolutely, and building your capacity, building who you are. And that is why I sort of wanted to do my master's and finish my board exams, and I did. Yes. I think for me the most important thing is for people to, not necessarily, they should always put pressure on themselves. I think I was one of those.
I mean, I can see the pressure you were putting on yourself. In 2012, you did journalism as well.
Yes, but there's a story behind that as well.
Really?
You know, yes.
Okay.
So after I did a stint at the Constitutional Court, I worked at the Constitutional Court as a researcher to, 3 of the Constitutional Court judges during my time of interacting with them.
Yeah.
Later, I then moved to the Western Cape High Court, and I worked with some prominent judges there. Then that thing of politics and wanting to know about government and understanding the system of government better. And there was this job that came up.
Yes.
It was in the president's office, of all places, at the union buildings.
Where?
And I mean, I had no experience. The only experience that I had.
That's in Pretoria.
Yes. And I applied for the job because I wanted to see whether or not I would be able to get that deputy director job in the president's office as serving as the youngest cabinet committee secretary for the president.
God, you're so goal-orientated.
I got the job. I actually don't understand, but I must say, it was crazy. That was the worst interview that I've ever had because I think I've never seen so many people on a panel. There was about 10 people looking at me during that interview. And it was grueling, you know. And obviously with that, and I think I was 24, 25 at the time, there comes this sort of clearance as a you know, where you sort of clear top secret, because now you're like in the highest level of government. You know, you're working with the president and ministers, and it's highly confidential information. And to be privy to that at such a young age.
I was just going to ask you,
Yes.
what age was that?
24, 25.
Oh my word.
Yes.
You were given like major opportunities.
Exactly. And especially that particular experience, because there's only a few people who's allowed in cabinet meetings.
Yes.
And cabinet meetings is the highest meeting of government
of
they
course.
can be. It's not local government, province, it's the highest level.
Yes.
So you're seeing ministers and the president interacting. You're seeing how decisions about the country is being made at that level. My job was purely to capture the essence of what was being discussed.
Oh, right.
And it was a bit stressful because
Yeah, because you need to have them all.
you need to, and there's this sort of filter that goes through. So I was the cabinet committee secretary for the justice portfolio and governance administration, and then I capture the essence of decisions, and then it goes to cabinet, and that is where your work gets tested.
Oh my
where the
God.
ministers come back like, I don't think I actually said that, or you know. But luckily, I was never embarrassed to that extent because I was always very particular, and I had good supervisors. I had older people who were very much experienced in this who helped me, you know.
Yes,
and again, so obviously in my interactions, I met ministers. That was my daily interactions, and it was at this particular.
You became a ministerial spokesperson in 2012, 2014.
Yes,
But that
exactly.
was a lot of key responsibilities upon you. How did you handle that?
Absolutely. So this minister knew that I had a law background.
Yes.
I had no experience in the media whatsoever.
Okay.
And I said, Minister, you are aware that I'm a lawyer and that I actually have law degrees, and I don't really know a lot about media. And there was something that he said that really triggered me, and I remember that, and I think I actually took that advice going forward. He says, are you willing to learn?
Oh my word. The
Here's an
the
opportunity.
best question he could have asked you was that, because
Absolutely.
you were out there to like, I'm getting it, yeah.
I don't know anything, but I can learn here.
Yes, yes.
And there was also an opportunity for me to travel the world because he was the Minister of Tourism at the time.
Oh,
and I
right.
learned how to write speeches for ministers. I interacted and engaged with the media because I'm a spokesperson. So obviously I needed to understand the landscape. And I had to switch sort of from justice issues to tourism issues.
Oh,
but it was
my
also very
goodness.
central to that. I had to organize awesome
You're making me
events.
so excited to just hearing this and how you went about, you know.
Exactly, and I was so young. I mean, I was like, at that time I was 26, 27 years old.
Yes, yes.
And I had to engage with SABC, and we sort of did a lot of media campaigns and events in the most amazing places around the world. And that is where I traveled. I mean, the first place that I traveled with the minister was to Paris, and then Switzerland, and then Mexico, and then the United States, and Germany, and UK, and you name it. And if I didn't say yes to the opportunity to learn,
Yes, you would never have
I've never have done that.
an experience.
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. So now I have that sort of feather in the cap as well. You know, lawyer, and also being able to you know, deal with the media.
Oh my gosh! I have no words for this young lady who is super excited about her life and what she's been doing. We're going to take a break and we'll come back and then continue.
Thank you.